Welcome back, children. So let me explain you the chapter Ranga's Marriage by Masti Venkatesh Iyengar. So Ranga, who was the accountant's son, is one of the rare breeds among the village folks who has been to the city to pursue his studies. When he returns to his village from city of Bangalore, the crowds mill around him and his house to see whether he has changed or not. His ideas about marriage are now quite different, or are they? So children, this story is set during the times of before independence, when India was totally different as it is today. Marriage was at all related with shyness, whether be the boy or the girl. Nowadays, but the scenario has totally changed. You can see laughing and enjoying bride and bridegroom. But at that time, it was totally different. So Ranga, who was the accountant's son, was of a totally different breed, different type, who had been to city to complete his studies. When he returned to his village from city of Bangalore, the crowd gathered around his house to find out whether he is the same Ranga or has he changed. So let's find out in this story ourselves. When you see this title, some of you may ask, Ranga's marriage, why not Ranganath Vivaha or Ranganath Vijaya? Well, yes, I know. I could have used some other mouth-filling one like Jagannath Vijaya or Girija Kalyana. But then this is not about Jagannath's victory or Girija's wedding. It's about our own Ranga's marriage. And hence no fancy title. Hoshahalli is our village. You must have heard of it. No. No? What a pity. But it is not your fault. There is no mention of it in any geography book. Those sahibs in England, writing in English, probably do not know that such a place exists, and so make no mention of it. Our own people too forget about it. You know how it is. They are like a flock of sheep. One sheep walks into a pit, the rest blindly follow it. When both the sahibs in England and our own geographers have not referred to it, you cannot expect the poor cartographer to remember to put it on the map. Can you? And so there is not even the shadow of a village on any map. So children, here the author is directly talking to its readers. First he talks about the word Ranga's marriage. And he says, why not I have kept the name Ranganath Vivaha, which is more pure and sacred, or Ranganath Vijaya, or more mouth-watering, that is Jagannath Vijay or Girija Kalyana, which is at all related with God. But then he thought that it's not about the Jagannath's victory. Lord Jagannath, the famous god of South India, exactly Lord Vishnu. And it is also not Girija's wedding, so cannot keep Girija Kalyana or Jagannath Vivaha. It was all about Ranga's marriage, and hence he did not keep any fancy title. Then he talks about his village, Hoshahalli, and he says that there is no mention of this village in the map. He says that English sahibs or English officers and even Indian officers have forgotten to put the map, to put the name of this village in the map. Then why to blame the cartographers? Cartographers, those who design the map. So the author in the beginning keeps us busy with two things: the name of the marriage and then the name of his village. Or maybe he himself got busy and moved here and there, and then suddenly he returns to the main topic, that is Ranga's marriage, and he admits that also. Sorry, I started somewhere and then went off in another direction. If the state of Mysore is to Bharatvarsh, what the? Sweet Karigadibu is to a festive meal, then Hoshahalli is to Mysore. So Karigadibu is a South Indian dish usually cooked in every kind of festive season, festive occasion. So he says that what is Karigadibu? That what is Mysore to Bharatvarsh? Then same is Karigadibu to a festive meal, and similarly Hoshahalli is a place to Mysore. Here he highlights the importance of the village Hoshahalli. What I have said is absolutely true. Believe me, I will not object to your questioning, but I will stick to my opinion. I'm not the only one who speaks glowingly of Hoshahalli. We have a doctor in our place. His name is Gunda Bhatt. He agrees with me. He has been to quite a few places. No, not England. If Anaya asks, if anyone asks him whether he has been there, he says, "No, Anaya, I have left that to you. Running around like a flea-pestered dog is not for me. I have seen a few places in my time, though as a matter of fact, he has seen many." So he highlights the importance of his village Hoshahalli. Then he says that he is not the only one who believes that Hoshahalli is a nice place. He says one more person is there who is a doctor, and his name is Gunda Bhatt. Now he says that, are you thinking that Gunda Bhatt has been to England? No, he has not been to England. And he says that if anybody asks him, "No, Anaya, I have left that to you," jokingly. So he adds on that running around like a flea-pestered dog means dog which is suffering from itching. So Gunda Bhatt says that running along like a flea-pestered dog is not for me. I have seen many places. As a matter of fact, he has seen many. We have some mango trees in our village. Come visit us and I will give you a raw mango from one of them. Do not eat it, just take a bite. The sourness is sure to go straight to your Brahmandra. I once took one such fruit home and a chutney was made out of it. All of us ate it. The cough we suffered from after that, it was when I went for the cough medicine that the doctor told me about the special quality of the fruit. Then this author starts describing about his village, and he says that there are mango trees in their village, and the village is known for mangoes. Then he warns the readers, the listeners, that please take care about the mango, because the sourness of mango is so sure that it will reach your brain And he tells about that incident that once they ate mangoes and suffered from cough, and they had to take medicines. Just as the mango is special, so is everything else around our village. We have a creeper growing in the ever so fine water of the village pond. Its flowers are a feast to behold. Get 2 leaves from the creeper when you go to the pond for your bath, and you will not have to worry about not having leaves on which to serve the afternoon meal. You will say I am rambling. It is always like that when the subject of village comes up. But enough. If any one of you would like to visit us, drop me a line. I will let you know when their hostel is and what things are like here. The best way of getting to know a place is to visit it. Don't you agree? So the author says that as mango is special to their village, similarly creepers or climbers, you might have studied in biology, they are also essential. Then also the water weeds or water plants. Then he says about the water plant which grow in the village pond, and its flowers are very nice. So you get 2 leaves of that creeper when you go to the pond for your bath, and you will not have to worry about having leaves on which the serve the afternoon meal. So the leaf of that plant could be used for food. Generally, children, you might have observed that South Indians, they take food on leaves. So he says that the leaf of that plant or that creeper could be used for food. So the author then generally talks about his village, and then he suggests the readers that if they want to come to their village, then they can contact him. What I am going to tell you is something that happened 10 years ago. We did not have many people who knew English. Then our village accountant was the first one who had enough courage to send his son to Bangalore to study. It is different now. There are many who knew English. During the holidays, you come across them on every street talking in English. Those days, we did not speak in English, nor did we bring in English words while talking. In Kannada, what has happened is disgraceful. Believe me, the other day, I was in Ramarao's house when they bought a bundle of firewood. Ramarao's son came out to pay for it. He asked the woman, "How much should I give you?" 4 paise. She said the boy told her he did not have any change and asked her to come the next morning. The poor woman did not understand the English word change and went away muttering to herself. I too did not know what she muttered. Later, when I went to RANGA'S house and asked him, I understood what it meant. So the author says that I am talking about the time when English was not spoken so frequently. Only few were there who knew English. But then he says that now, means at his time, many are there those who know English. Next day, then the author went to Ramarao's house. And Ramarao's house, there he saw the son of Ramarao. A woman fetched him a bundle of firewood. Then the Ramarao's son asked her, "How much should I give you?" So the lady said, 4 paise. So the boy said, "I do not have any change." The lady could not understand. What does he mean? So she moved back, muttering to herself some words. So the author says, I don't know what. But later on he understood what the lady meant. This priceless commodity the English language was not so widespread in our village a decade ago. That was why Ranga's homecoming was a great event. People rushed to his doorstep, announcing, "The accountant's son has come. The boy who has gone to Bangalore for his studies is here, it seems, and come. Ranga is here. Let's go and have a look." Attracted by the crowd, I too went and stood in the courtyard and asked, "What have all these people come? There's no performing monkey here." So, English language at that time was an essential commodity. Commodity means article. Very important thing. And those who knew English were highly respected. So, Ranga's homecoming was a great event. As he came back after studies, people rushed to his house that, "Listen, accountant's son has come." And then everyone milled around his house. So, attracted by the crowd, this author also went there in the courtyard. And then he said, "Why all of you have gathered over here? There is no performing monkey here." Means no monkey show is going on. A boy, a fellow without any brains, said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "What are you doing here then?" A youngster, immature and without any manners, thinking that all these things were now of the past, I kept quiet. So author responded in that manner, but one person contradicted him. "If no monkey is performing here, what are you doing?" he said to the author. Seeing so many people there, Ranga came out with a smile on his face. Had we all gone inside, the place would have turned into what people call the black hole of Calcutta. Thank God it did not. Everyone was surprised to see that Ranga was the same as he had been 6 months ago, where he had first left our village. An old lady who was near him ran her hand over his chest, looked into his eyes and said, "The Ginevra is still there? He hasn't lost his caste." She went away soon after that. Ranga laughed. So everyone was excited and curious to know that whether it is the same Ranga who left the village few years back, or has he changed. So one old lady moved close to Ranga and touched his chest to check for the Ginevra or Geneu, and she was happy to find out that Ginevra was still there. And then she said, "Yeah, he has not lost his caste." Once they realized that Ranga still had the same hands, legs, eyes and nose, the crowd melted away like a lump of sugar in a child's mouth. I continued to stand there after everyone had gone. I asked, "How are you, Rangappa? Is everything well with you?" It was only then that Ranga noticed me. He came near me and did a namaskara, respectfully saying, "I'm all right, with your blessings." So once the crowd was sure that it is the same Ranga who left the village, so the crowd melted away like a lump of sugar in the mouth of a child. Means the crowd moved away. And then the Ranga noticed the homecoming of this author, and he exchanged greetings. Ranga said namaskara and he got the blessings. I must draw your attention to this aspect of Ranga's character. He knew that when it would be to his advantage to talk to someone, and he rightly assessed people's worth. As for his namaskara to me, he did not do it like any present day boy, with his head up towards the sun, standing stiff like a pole, without joints, jerking his body as if it was either a wand or a walking stick. Nor did he merely fold his hands. He bent low to touch my feet. "May you get married soon," I said, blessing him. After exchanging a few pleasantries, I left. Children, this chapter also teaches the old Indian tradition of respecting the elders. Now, children, how do we nowadays greet our elders or seniors. Suppose we have to say namaste, 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 like this. Hello, like this. Or few years back, namaskar by folding hands. But touching feet is considered as real greeting, and it was known as Dandavat Pranam in Hindi, in old Indian tradition. So Ranga did the same thing and got the blessings from the author that may you get married soon, was the blessing. That afternoon, when I was resting, Ranga came to my house with a couple of oranges in his hand. A generous, considerate fellow. It would be a fine thing to have him marry, settle down and be of service to society, I thought. For a while we talked about this, and then I came to the point. Rangappa, when do you plan to get married? I'm not going to get married now, he said. Why not? So that evening the Ranga came to the house of the author or the narrator with a couple of oranges, and he was a generous fellow. So the author wants him to get married and settle down. So after talking about this and that, author came to the point. Yes, Ranga, when do you want to get married? So the Ranga replied, I don't want to get married. Author was confused. Why not? He asked. I need to find the right girl I know. An officer who got married only 6 months ago. He's about 30 and his wife is 25, I'm told. They will be able to talk lovingly to each other. Let's say I married a very young girl. She may take my words spoken in love as words spoken in anger. Recently, a troupe in Bangalore staged the play Shakuntala. There is no question of Dushyant falling in love with Shakuntala if she were young. Like the present day brides, is there? What would have happened to Kalidasa's play if one gets married? It should be to a girl who is mature. Otherwise, one should remain a bachelor. That's why I'm not marrying now. So check the reasoning of Ranga. He says, I need to find the right girl to get married. Then he gives example of an officer who got married only 6 months ago. He was about 30 and wife was about 20. He said that they will be able to talk lovingly to each other. It means they will be able to talk lovingly to each other because no age difference or no big age difference was there. Then he says that suppose I get married to a very young girl who is 10 years or 20 years less than my age. Then what she will feel? Even if I'll talk to her in polite and loving words, she would think that I'm speaking in anger. Then he gives another example that recently a troupe in Bangalore staged the play Shakuntala. Then he says that there is no question of Dushyant falling in love with Shakuntala if they were very young. It means Ranga asserts that to get married, you require to be mature, and marriage at immature age would lead to disaster. Nothing else. So he says that that's why I'm not marrying now. Is there any other reason? Asked the author. A man should marry a girl he admires. What we have now are arranged marriages. How can one admire a girl with milk stains on one side of her face and wetness on the other? Or so young that she doesn't even know how to bite her fingers? One a neem fruit, the other a bitter gourd. Exactly, Ranga said, laughing. I was distressed that the boy who I thought would make a good husband had decided to remain a bachelor. After chatting for a little longer, Ranga left. I made up my mind right then that I would get him married. So the author asks, is there any other reason of you not getting married? So the Ranga said that one should marry a girl whom he admires. In fact, he wants to say that whom he loves. He says then that what we have now are arranged marriages, arranged by the parents. Children, at that time, you are, children, you are very privileged ones, that you will exactly in future you will know the person with whom you will get married. Before marriage, it is a now modern world, but at that time marriages were fixed by the parents, and bride and bridegroom used to get acquainted with each other after marriage. So those were arranged marriages at that time. Then Ranga says that how can one admire a girl with milk stains on one side of her? Means the girl very small, drinking milk, and on the other side she is weeping. One phrase, one knee improved, the other a better guard. In Hindi, it is generally said, एक तो करेला ऊपर से नीम चढ़ा. Exactly, Ranga said, laughing. So this was a phrase said by the author. Now author was curious, and he promised to himself that I take this opportunity and responsibility of Ranga, and definitely I'll make him get married very soon. So that's all, children, in this part of the video. Last part is continued in next video.